Jeez, poor Chuck. Chuck's had a rough month. Andy, a lot of people have stayed busy trying to figure out where they would sit at the Iowa Everywhere party if they had to pick a seat on this graphic that if you're watching, you can see it on the screen. But I'll go over it just for people that can't see and are only listening. So we got Cade and Andy together, the Duke and Aiden, Williams and Kenzo, Doctorman, Leistico, kind of off to one side, but then over there too, at I guess the same table, you also get Jake and Matt Van Winkle, and Jenny and me with a stool between us and Sipker. Sipker with a stool between him and Downs, and then Downs with a stool between him and Hassel. I also had somebody ask me, why isn't Andy included? Oh, he's included. He's up there. He's had a pre-party.
Yeah, that picture will live forever out there in the space. Yeah, that's the version of Andy that you get if you pick seat D. That was me in 2007. Kahala and I had just gotten engaged, and I nearly drank the Caribbean that night.
Yeah,
it was
ocean not included.
Yeah, thank God you got that shot, Murph. That is
you're welcome.
That's got a life of its own. It's got legs.
I didn't even do this. It just lives out there now.
Seat A is my choice because when Andrew and Chris are together, they're really funny. There is just a constant stream of material that keeps going back and forth, and you just want to be present for it, right? I mean, you don't even need to say anything. You just sit there in the front row and watch.
A lot of people are going to pick that seat, partly because of AD, but large part to Hassel. People are just fascinated with how crazy he is, but at the same time, how bright
crazy
he is.
as in like mentally ill, right? Too. It's
right.
Not like crazy fun or wild, runs around and he shouts and stuff, but like.
And a lot of people are
disturbed.
picking this seat, Andy, and what they don't know, as they'll discover at the Iowa Everywhere party, is not only does Hassel hate people, but he's really uncomfortable in crowds. So there's a chance he's there for like 10 minutes and then you're just left with an empty bar stool.
And he's not happy that you took that seat, too. That's the thing, Andrew, as you
he's
can attest.
annoyed.
He wanted that buffer zone.
Right.
He wants it for somebody he knows really well. He doesn't want it for an absolute stranger.
No, he doesn't want some rando coming in there and taking that seat. There, you will ruin his day.
That was a fun exercise. I think Iowa Chill inspired it, so we've had fun with that. Now we're supposed to not have any groups that are normally together, like you and I. We're not together, but Jenny and I are together. And somebody asked why she was photoshopped so short. She's not photoshopped. That's how short she is. And then Leistico and Doctorman are together over there at table G.
Yeah, table G. There's a crowd around table G.
That's a Cyhawk table. That's some Cyhawk arguments there.
Yeah, and
I
got to sit by Scott
in there.
I know it's just.
I'd like
cool.
F. F is where I'd go. I want to drink beers with Derek Duke, and Aiden is the sneakiest funny guy. Like Aiden doesn't say a lot, but when he does, is usually funny or interesting. So I'm going table F. We'll have fun.
Also underrated for table F, you've got a designated driver
right
at the table.
Oh, yeah. Aiden doesn't drink. Yeah, I don't know that he's going to drive you home.
He's a nice guy. He might. All right, let's roll here on a Wednesday.
Get ready. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Plus special guests, Spin Doctors. September 10th, Lordson Amphitheater at Waterworks Park. Blues Traveler, Jen Blossoms. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Blues Traveler and Jen Blossoms. Presented by the Willis Summer Series.
This game is once in a century. Be there at Casey Center on February 12th. Go to HarlemGlobetrotters.com for your tickets to the 100-year tour.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
And we're happy to be here. The Table Setter from Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines. Coming up, Belichick Snubbed, Matt Campbell gift, and a Chuck E. Cheese arrest update. This is what you've waited for. It's all presented by Guest House Tavern with nightly specials, including tonight's Walleye Wednesday. Right now, high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Start of the year, Tim Hawkins and Company dealing out financial advice right and left. WealthCharterRetirement.com. They can help you. I'm going to go high today. I love it when my iPhone like throws out a picture from the past and it's like 10 years ago today, this happened. And it's usually something that makes me smile. And this sure does. This is 10 years ago. This is me and my daughter Elin, so she would have been 4. And it is totally, obviously it's January. It's totally cold. And the lake over by our old house in Urbandale is totally frozen. And I had taken the snowblower down there and cleared off a big hockey rink, and we were down there. She was learning to skate, so I thought this kind of made my morning here. I love that is a good feature about iPhones is that they alert you to little anniversaries in your life that you might skip over otherwise.
That is a sweet photo, and I also appreciate you describing it because the other day, and it was a good reminder to me. Jenny and I are coming back from the airport, and we're listening to you and AD live Monday, through the YouTube, which we played through the car speakers. And you're describing some hockey coach, and I can't figure out what's going on or what happened to him or what he's like. So then I get back and I look it up, and oh my gosh,
Craig Berube.
Yeah. But when you first said, I was like, okay, what's going on? What's he look like? How's it? Because the visuals really add so much to the show and to a story like that. But I did look him up, and man, what a badass that guy is. Wow.
I mean, like never needed to prove it to anybody in the league. No, Craig Berube's the last guy connected to the league that ever needs to prove that he is tough, because you can YouTube the videos of him just throwing down with the greatest fighters in NHL history.
I wouldn't mess with him.
The fact that he was like, just a flesh wound. I'll shake it off. I'll be okay. I'll be at work today.
Did he drop a dumbbell on his head or something? I mean, that was a serious injury.
I don't know. I don't know. They did ask him, and he was kind of gruff about look at that.
Oh my
So this
goodness.
is later.
Yeah, it looks like a shark bite across his entire cranium.
It looks like he's had brain surgery. Is
Yeah,
what
it does. It looks
is
like
what
a
it looks
lobotomy.
like. Yeah, it looks like a lobotomy. It's like this perfect half circle. I don't know what could cause that injury in the weight room.
And he's not wearing a hat over that. He's just coming out and like, yeah, it happened. What happened? Let's just move on. Talk about the game.
And he's had so many black eyes in his life. It's like he doesn't even, that doesn't even, no one even mentions the horribly black eye that he's got. I think the other one's messed up too. It's just like, he just kept on going. Craig Berube is such a badass.
No anesthesia for that guy. I'm going to smash a high and low together because it was fun Friday to see some, national websites like Awful Announcing pick up our hot mic moment. So for anybody who didn't watch or didn't see it, Jenny and I are in Florida visiting my sister and her family. And on the airplane and when we land, Jenny is just really pushing electrolytes and water, stay hydrated. We're going to be drinking later, and flights are dehydrating. And we had several cups of coffee. So I do.
Yes,
and
you're really setting her up to be the bad guy here.
I'm trying. So then I sit down to the show and I pour the first beer of the day. It's Friday, not working other than the podcast. And we start going, and it's starting to hit me. And I'm like, oh, man, I got to go. I got to go. I got to pay.
Got to go pay.
And I'm trying to get to the break. I'm even like hurrying a segment along a little bit, thinking, I think I can make it there. But it finally gets to that point of piss the chair or just tell them, hey, I got to go. So I do get to that point, and I get up and go. And what AD's not used to, but it does go through my head, I usually have the same kind of mic we're using here today, or that's what I've been on the road. That's what I've used. But since Jenny and I are also doing happy hour on Iowa Everywhere, we have these two wireless mics, and I just wore one of those. And as I'm getting up, it does go through my head. I wonder if he'll turn the wireless mic off. But there'd be reason he would forget about it. So I go in there, and I go fast, and then I'm right back out. As
Now
many
you're
people
blaming
point
Andrew.
out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm throwing everybody under
Come
the
on.
bus. Yeah. So it occurs to me he might not have turned the hot mic off. I am thinking about that. And I come right back out, and as many people pointed out, did not stop to wash my hands. This is not a stop and wash your hands moment. This is
You
a
sat
get
down to
back
pee.
on.
Is that what you said?
I did, because I was trying to avoid the loud sound, which then Hassel inserted later into the video anyway. But on the actual sound of
So
what
you were
happened,
thinking that he may have forgotten to turn off the mic, and so just to
Yes.
be careful,
Yes.
you were going to sit down to pee.
correct.
Why
And
don't you
then when
take off the mic to be careful?
Well, it's a magnet mic, and it's not easily put into the right place.
How about you wrap your hand around it like we always do when
Or-
we're
yeah.
whispering to each other out on the news?
Could have also done that. I'm getting good ideas now that it's too late. So thank you. So I come back out, and when I see your face, I immediately say, "Mike was on, wasn't it? Let's relive it."
I would have made that longer if I knew Murph was going to go.
Yeah,
take
no
a
kidding.
potty break.
This is I thought I heard him breathe there in the background. Yeah, and we'll
Oh,
see.
does he have the mic on?
I think he might. Does he have the mic on?
Can we hear him piss? Like, oh, it's Naked Gun.
You sit out. You got just a straight face.
Did you get the toilet flush?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we did.
Great.
Yeah, we did.
That was my guess. That might be the hardest I've ever heard Andy laugh.
That was
On
really
the
funny.
show.
Well, I mean, because
Oh my
the
gosh.
scene from The Naked Gun is honestly,
Frank
and
Drebin.
I'm such a juvenile, but it is one of the funniest scenes in the history of movies to me. Where they're like, you can see it coming from a mile away. You're just like, oh, you can take my wireless, thank you. And then he puts it on, he clears his nose out, and Then he gives this stupid speech and then walks off to the bathroom as only Leslie Nielsen could, just with his completely straight face. And then you just hear like everything. You hear his zipper go down and then just the pee. And then he starts singing, he starts farting. And then
has a couple little.
He does the shake and everything. And then he starts looking to the side and he's peeing on the floor. It's so damn funny. So that's of course in my mind. And so that's of course in my mind. So
my
funny.
goodness.
So damn funny.
We got a lot of play out of that. A lot of fun. That was nice. Let's catch the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
By the way, did you see AD? I think you probably pay closer attention to social media than Andy does. Did you see the amount of people that thought that was staged?
I saw that too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I promise
people don't
you,
believe anything these days.
On my good
and
word, that was
honestly,
not staged.
you probably shouldn't anymore. You should probably. I mean, you should probably if it's something that really catches your eye, whether you think it's funny or alarming or it really if it pulls any kind of significant emotion out of you, you should probably look into it a little bit, because
such a sad statement, but you're right.
It is such a sad statement, but we react right now. Right. I mean, we react to everything, and we react on social media. There's nothing that makes you look well. There are some things that make you look dumber, but it makes you look really dumb to react to something that turns out to be fake.
If you're familiar with our work, we're not that good of actors. Like Andy can't pull off a sincere laugh at that level.
Well, like Murph, you send stuff to the Moore team from time to time.
Yeah,
well,
I'm part of the Moore team
pretty regularly, and the Moore team, vets stuff. We don't just throw stuff out there. Yeah. And I would say, I mean, a high percentage of the stuff that you send to the Moore team gets dinged for being AI. These days, being fake, like the gorilla videos that you sent the other day.
Yeah, I knew those were AI, but I know you enjoy a good AI video.
I do enjoy that, but I was like watching it, and I'm like, I mean, it's just like it's to the point now where when it first started, you'd play it anyway because it was funny, but now it's like it just immediately sets off the AI alarm bell. And it's like it's not funny anymore, and that's too bad, because it's still, I mean, stuff. Look, I mean, comedy is fake, movies are fake, Saturday Night Live's fake. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still funny, and that's the first thing that matters, right? Do you laugh?
The thing about that,
but I think it's gone to another level now with AI online.
I think what now still is funny on AI, if it's so over the top, like, the woman getting launched off the dock or something, where there's no question it's AI. That was kind of what the Gorillas was like for me. Logier Heating and Cooling, by the way, wore the new Logier Heating and Cooling 120-year hat all over Central Florida, and got a couple compliments on it.
I have that
about how to have air conditioner service.
Oh, down there in Florida, can they come down? Like the Mid-American crews are down in Shreveport, Louisiana, Tennessee right now, helping with all those ice storms and stuff. So I don't know, maybe Logier will make a house call 800 miles away. It could.
Let's start with Bill Belichick. This has gotten so much attention. Who would have thought, of all people, one of the grumpiest people in the world would kind of pull everybody together for 24 hours, because it's just shocking that he is not going to be a Pro Football Hall of Fame first ballot Hall of Famer. 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 8 overall, 9 conference championships, 31 playoff wins. Those are all records. And this is something, even with Spygate, even with his reputation as a really difficult guy for the media to work with, even with how unseemly many people found his relationship with his much younger girlfriend and his failures after Tom Brady and with North Carolina. I just don't think
that looks AI, right?
That's real. That's real.
How is that real?
I never even crossed my mind he might not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's the most successful coach in the history of pro football, by far.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, just
It's not close.
Period. Stop. Full stop. Right. And Bill Belichick. There's a lot of dirt on Bill Belichick. There's no doubt. I don't know that you win that much and don't have the dirt. I mean, there's Spygate. There's a lot of instances of him cheating, accusations of him, bending the rules. There's Deflategate, which he wasn't really connected to, but it's still on his team under his watch. There are a lot of accusations about them, filming the Rams coaches before that Super Bowl win where they upset the Rams. That's really where it started with Bill Belichick.
Right.
And I mean, in Spygate, that was huge. They got fined $750,000 and lost a first-round draft pick. That was an enormous penalty in the NFL. But all that stuff aside, after many of those things happened, I think scrutiny
It's
really
still Hall of Fame career.
really
after
absolutely
it
it is. And Tom Brady left, he won another Super Bowl. Bill Belichick has parted and has flopped. So there's a little bit of ammo for the people that want to knock him, but there's not nearly enough to keep him out of the Hall of Fame on a first ballot. He's the definition of a first ballot Hall of Famer. The guy just, at a time where, it's very difficult to build a super team, he constantly was losing players, losing assistant coaches, rebuilding staffs, rebuilding rosters, drafting really, really low or, on one occasion, not at all in the first round. And he still kept winning. So there's just, there is not an excuse for this. It's not that big a deal. He'll go in the next ballot.
He will.
But it's still, it's like somebody, it's people that, and, he's a hard guy to like. Yeah.
Yep. All of those
Really hard
things are
guy to like.
factors. And the process is flawed because people are forced to pick between worthy Hall of Famers as part of this process. But if you look at Jimmy Johnson's tweet today, I think winning is what gets to the jealousy, resentment of all the winning gets to the heart of this. Johnson writes, if they are using the excuse, in all caps, of Spygate, that's ridiculous. Many teams, including ourselves, tried it. Howard Mudd at Kansas City, who later coached for Bill Polian and Tony Dungy, gave us the idea. He was the best. We didn't get anything and stopped but many teams gave it a try. Little bit like in baseball where everybody's cheating on some level of trying to steal signals, but then the Astros took it to a level where it's just like, okay, that's too much. You can't be banging trash cans. And the Patriots get caught, and then many times in the criminal justice system, it's the lying that ends up being worse than the actual offense. That's kind of what happened with Deflategate. Some quarterbacks like in extra inflated footballs, some like them underinflated and a little bit soft. This is league-wide. Quarterbacks have their preferences. But Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots, they didn't just admit it. They lied and said, we don't know anything about it. Now, you forget over time that the week after the Colts turned them in, Brady he was even better in the second half of the game they were turned in for the Deflategate and the following week than he was with the reportedly underinflated footballs. So it's not that anybody thinks these things are the reason the Patriots won, but when you get sick of someone winning, and as you pointed out, Belichick made himself really difficult to like, and writers are deciding who goes into the Hall of Fame, which at this point in time is probably questionable anyway. But I think him being so difficult with the media and so many sports writers resenting him, I think that's a factor here too. But let's go to a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas, give people some choices.
Which do you think was the biggest factor in Bill Belichick's no votes for Hall of Fame induction? The fact that he was a jerk to reporters, the Spygate or Deflategate and Deflategate controversies. He's still coaching at North Carolina and maybe not doing a great job there, or his young girlfriend and probably kind of all the off-the-field stuff he's been through the last couple of years.
I agree with this poll. I would vote the same way. here. It's Spygate, Deflategate for me. That would not keep him out of the Hall of Fame on my ballot, but I think this is the biggest strike against.
Yeah, this is where writers and things can punish him, right? And I think that's what we're seeing.
I have a combination of the two because I think Spygate is the excuse, and I think being a jerk to reporters is what gives them the hammer to punish him. I think many of those reporters wanted to punish him for being so awful to work with for so many years. Not just short answers, but like dismissive answers, bad answers.
I heard he was a jerk to everybody. I think there were a lot of people. I think his players disliked him. I think the ownership there with the Patriots really got sideways with him. They didn't like him. I mean, he was a really difficult guy, and geniuses are often, I think, like that. I mean, they're people that expect the world to adapt to them. They don't adapt to the world, and that's why they're the ones that end up making progress, making the world change. But they're still difficult, and I think I mean, if they wanted to get back at him for this, well, they did. This is the only way that they're going to be able to do that. But I got a list here. We can go down. There are only 5 coaches who were inducted on the first ballot.
Okay, and
which
he's
is surprising.
More accomplished than any of them.
Yeah, it's really surprising. Do you think you can name the guys on this list? There are 5.
Shula,
1.
Lombardi,
No. Vince Lombardi not on the list.
Well, that gets my attention. Bill Walsh?
No. Unbelievable.
George Halas?
Yes.
Tom Landry?
Yes. Tom Landry ahead of Bill Walsh.
Chuck Noll?
Yes. One more.
4.
This one might be tougher. Got his name on a stadium.
Curly Lambeau.
Curly Lambeau is the 5th one. You're talking about Curly Lambeau and Halas, 2 guys that were, instrumental in the foundation of the league and the development of the game of football.
Boy, Vince Lombardi, wow.
Vince Lombardi's not on that list. I would like to read more into that, but that's insane. It is funny the way that we put this under a microscope every time, these first ballot Hall of Famers, no matter what the sport is, whether it's a player or coach or whatever, we really get in a twist.
Well, and it definitely punished Bill Belichick because he is a historian of football and of the NFL, and he goes to the Hall of Fame all the time. It's like his favorite place to visit, and I'm sure that this guy who seemingly has had just about everything, I'm sure this crushes him. And yes, he'll get in on the next time. And it's probably good for his image. I mean, he's had just a couple of years of absolute PR nightmare, and this has made him a sympathetic figure.
For a moment, it has, but I mean, this is real proof here that you can screw up your legacy, right? You can at least really tarnish your legacy, and it doesn't matter who you are. You're alive when you're alive, and you keep on working, you keep on living, and you do some things that are off center. It will count against your permanent record, right? I mean, he may have thought that he was out of that, but I don't know. I mean, we see this happen all the time to big stars, big names that they do things well after their career. That end up, that's the problem, the recency bias. It's top of mind with people. That's the stuff that people can remember more. Stuff that just happened.
I don't think the Hall of Fame has any character thing in there. I mean, O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame. They didn't remove his bust. Ray Lewis, had a pretty rough accusation at one point. Wasn't convicted, but nobody kept him out of the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's a we could go down the list. I feel like they punished Terrell Owens for a while for some of his reputation and being a locker room challenge. So, but this does raise the question: if you believe, as the majority or close to the majority of our listeners believe, that Spygate or Deflategate is at the heart of this, then are you voting to keep Tom Brady out on his first ballot with 8? How many does he have? 7 Super Bowl rings? The most accomplished quarterback, the most accomplished player, period, in the history of the sport?
Yeah, maybe.
Is he a no vote?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he is someone who has improved his legacy since his time with the Patriots. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Winning at the Bucs, and then showing how you can go from mediocre broadcaster to good broadcaster in 1 year by working hard, which he always does. Also, not in the same conversation, but somewhat related, Shedeur Sanders is now a Pro Bowler. He threw more interceptions than touchdowns. And I don't really care a lot about this. It's outraged some people. I think the problem with this, Andy, is many people conflate Pro Bowl with All Pro. Like they'll hear a 9-time Pro Bowler.
Those two honors have only grown further apart, right?
Yes.
I mean, they Pro Bowl, now they have a hard time getting guys to accept a bid to the Pro Bowl.
So you get to a Shedeur Sanders who either is getting this because no one else would take it, or you're just trying. He does have a lot of fans. You're just trying to give people another reason to watch a flag football game. So you're putting him in the game just to attract people.
It's like a city view vote, right? Where you can people can stuff the ballot.
There's absolutely no world where anybody can justify Shedeur Sanders being in the Pro Bowl. I mean, he's a name, he's an attraction. Maybe a bunch of people passed on it, but I think they do need to, for the average football fan, to make it more clear the honor of being all pro versus the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is just filling out a roster, and I don't care that much about this because I don't care about the Pro Bowl. I mean, I haven't even watched it in years.
Haven't in decades.
Yeah, I mean,
cared.
I know people still watch because it's the NFL and the NFL rules. Speaking of watching, 49 million people on average watch the Patriots-Broncos. So this was the highest rated playoff game. Now, it was a close game. I think you also had, even though some people dismiss this as being bad for the NFL because it's so hard to play in this kind of weather, it's great to watch this kind of weather on your television. I mean, it was a fascinating, at least visual game to look at. And what's rare about this is almost always the game that starts around 5:30 our time. That's the highest rated game, as it was last year when Bills and Chiefs had, I think, 57 million people. They had a huge number. Nothing approached that this year, partly because you didn't, for the first time in 15 years, no Patrick Mahomes, no Tom Brady. Didn't really have a superstar in these games. But the late game, which was a really entertaining, fun game to watch, was rated lower than the Patriots-Broncos, I think because it's Seahawks and Rams, and they just don't attract people the way other teams do.
Back to the AFC Championship game, there's been a lot of discussion that came after this game about should the NFL do something about games that should they do something to prevent games that are directly impacted by the weather, like moving them
domes
to
or neutral sites.
Yes, and it's funny, and that's not going to happen. That was shot down hard, but it is funny because I feel like I can drum up strong feelings on both sides of that argument.
Yeah, you can.
Because I genuinely love that about the NFL, and the teams that play in those outdoor stadiums. I mean, Green Bay and Chicago and Buffalo and, even Cleveland and Kansas City. I mean, Denver here. I mean, that's football, right? The New York teams, Philly, that's a home field advantage for them. They got that home game. They have those conditions. They earned it. You should have to come and play in that stuff. I like that. It's real football. Those are real football fans that show up for those games, and this is classic NFL, and we should not sanitize this.
You have to adjust to the conditions. It takes a strategy change.
Right. Yeah. Both teams are playing in those conditions.
That's why Sean Payton should have kicked that field goal to go up 10-0. That was a real mistake by a very good
absolutely.
coach.
And the conditions affected both teams in that game. But on the other side, I don't really like the idea of weather conditions altering the game. I want to see the two teams that have played this well all season to earn this chance to play each other with the Super Bowl on the line, play in perfect conditions. With
you
no
can't
wind.
argue both sides of it. I come down on the home fields just like I do. For the
I do
college
too.
football
I
playoff.
don't want to.
But I do understand that argument. That
I do.
That was ugly to watch in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was fascinating to watch the conditions, but it didn't really resemble football as we know it.
And I really, again, I can drum up strong feelings on both sides of the argument about where the Super Bowl should be played. I mean, I think the Super Bowl would be great at Soldier Field or Lambeau Field or whatever the Bills are going to call their stadium. I think that would be great. But at the same time, I hate games. I don't like Super Bowls that are influenced by the weather. That year there was Miami. Was that when the Bears lost to the Colts and it pissed down rain down there? I believe that was it.
Was that the Prince Super Bowl? Because he
I
played
think
in the
so.
rain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that. I mean, I want to see the Super Bowl like in a vacuum, right? I mean, I want to just see nothing but football. But yeah, I mean, again, I could just be a total hypocrite about that.
This John Sears tweet on X about the uniforms for the Super Bowl has been viewed 2.5 million times at last check. He would like to see the Seahawks' great uniforms. These are such an improvement over the XFL uniforms they wore Sunday night. And then the Patriots with the red jerseys, Pat the Patriot on the helmet. And J.J. Watt retweeted John's thing, which gave it a huge boost in views, of course. But the rules say you have to wear your traditional uniform. You cannot wear an alternate uniform in a playoff game or the Super Bowl. No, it's the NFL. They could change this rule if they wanted to. If the teams wanted to wear it and Goodell said fine, it would be a better look. I don't know. Maybe the Patriots don't want to wear those uniforms. The only time they've worn them in a Super Bowl, they got spanked by the Bears.
Yeah, 46-10.
Ooh.
I think this is a crying shame. I think this is a great idea. I think it would make the Super Bowl better. I honestly do. I mean, I think it would make the game better.
Yeah, it needs something. This would help. We talked about.
I don't understand too. I like why some teams would have a. I think I've heard the Broncos don't like to wear their throwback uniforms because they lost all those Super Bowls in them, and I don't. That was so long ago.
That's so superstitious.
I know. Too. Yeah, but that superstition rears its ugly head in sports all the time.
So 50 million or so people watched that Broncos-Patriots game. 6 million, which is a lower number than I expected, watch Alex Honnold's Skyscraper Climb live on Netflix. I mean, I thought more people would watch this because Netflix has had like 100 million people watch a Jake Paul fight. And this actually took a lot of talent and extreme athleticism. And if the guy loses concentration for 1 second in 90 minutes, he falls to his death on live television, which I can't imagine what the insurance looked like to sign those papers. But professional climbers, as you probably know, Andy, I know you did What's Bugging Andy on this, and I heard you talking about Honnold on the show Monday. But they say to people who don't know climbing, you're probably more impressed with what Alex Honnold did than you should be. Not that you shouldn't be impressed, but the professional climbers are being very outspoken about his Free Solo, which is an Academy Award-winning movie. El Capitan was far more difficult for him and far more impressive. And for those watching, we have a scale here of one of the tallest buildings in the world, and maybe halfway up that rock face that he climbed.
Yeah, 3,000 feet versus 1,667, I think, was what Type A 101 is.
Yeah, and as you pointed out on the show Monday, the building actually has some places for a climber of his skill to grab onto very easily. There are a couple times he pauses with no hands. He's just using his legs to hold onto the building while he resets his chalk in his bag and gets all ready like that. But the Free Solo movie is great. It will leave you, if you're interested in this at all, your jaw will drop. I saw it in the movie theaters, and it gave me anxiety. I mean, I knew he didn't fall, but I still had trouble watching it at times.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, the entire sport of mountain climbing is based on mountains, right? And cliff faces, right? I mean, that's the whole sport. That's what those guys know. That's where they feel comfortable. That's what they understand. There's a tremendous amount of grip that they get from the friction of the rock against their rubber shoes and their fingers. So in many, many, many respects, I think it is easier to climb El Cap than it is to climb that tower, which is steel and metal and just slick the whole way up. Now there's, ledges and stuff. You saw him using those, but he was having to completely change everything he really knew about, finding grip on the cliff face. So it's incredible that he was. I mean, they didn't change the building for him, and the building wasn't built to be climbed on, but it is built in such a way that climbers before Alex Honnold have looked at that and thought, I bet I could climb that. I mean, there are other buildings that are just slick the whole way up. There's just no way in hell they could actually do it. But this was climbable. And the other thing that was, I mean, that you see in Free Solo, I mean, there were a couple of times where he thinks he's going to climb El Cap, and then he just decides the last minute, I don't feel right about it. My head's not in the right space. And then when he finally does, he just walks off, leaves his van early in the morning, starts out ahead of everybody else, doesn't tell anybody he's going. And like the camera crews, and there weren't many camera crews, not compared to what we saw on Netflix, they have to go run out there and go catch up to him. And he's already, 1,000 feet up.
No ropes,
he's really, he's kind of alone and, in his solitude. And he's done that route a number of times with ropes on. Whereas climbing this building, I mean, there's every Yahoo right on the other side of a pane of glass, snapping pictures right in his face. Do you see all that? All those people, every
taking
floor.
showers. Oh, hey.
I can't believe they were hey, you know what? We're closing the building. Get the hell out of here. We don't want you scaring him off the building so he falls down to his death. But he had just got to deal with it. The fact that his wife is there on one of the floors, I was like, oh my God, man, this is really working against him.
It was great theater, I thought. Iowa football schedule release yesterday, and I think this is a challenging schedule. I think it's a fun schedule, too. It's so much better than the Big Ten West days. I mean, look at this. AD, let's bring you in as a fan here. Now, you have Iowa State and UNI back-to-back there, so those are both interesting games. But then the Big Ten starts, and whoa, at Michigan versus Ohio State, at Washington, at Minnesota versus Wisconsin. That's a gauntlet. That's fun. And then the schedule when Iowa tends to peak in November is more favorable. What do you think?
Yeah, you'd rather have this flip probably if you're an Iowa fan, because Iowa does seem to get better as the season goes on. But at least this way, hey, before the bye, you're going to know if you're in playoff contention or not, because you'll have those 3 games against 3 of the top teams in the Big Ten in Michigan, Ohio State, and at Washington. So we'll learn real quickly if this team is legitimate or not. Whoever the quarterback is, you got to hit the ground running here. You can't have a couple of weeks of trying to figure yourself out. This team's got to be ready to go right away.
Yeah, we don't know who the quarterback is going to be. Isn't that funny? You could completely change your mind on how you feel about this schedule.
Well, Washington has the quarterback that tried to leave, and they made him stay, right? Is that Washington?
Yes.
Mississippi, not Ole Miss, right?
Yeah,
no, he wanted to stay, and they made him leave.
But there's he's applying Trinidad Chambliss as a prime.
He wants to stay.
He's trying to get a waiver for like a 6th year.
Yeah, they're making him leave. He wants to stay. Washington wants to leave, and they're making him stay.
They made him stay, and then he said, "Hey, I just decided I'm really happy to be at Washington."
Yeah.
And then the Duke quarterback tried to go to Miami. Duke sued him to hold him to his 2-year NIL deal because he had only been there 1 year. It went to court, and then this week, Duke and the quarterback agreed to part ways, so he'll end up at Miami and be Carson Beck's replacement. What a world. Let's quickly here look at Penn State's schedule. Matt Campbell and basically an expected starting lineup of former Cyclones. Andy, this is a gift to Matt Campbell. This is a really soft Big Ten schedule.
It is, yeah. Obviously
Marshall, Temple, Buffalo,
Iowa,
Wisconsin,
no
Northwestern,
no Indiana.
USC, Michigan's down, Purdue, Washington, Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland.
Are you still forgetting to count Indiana as one of the really tough games on the schedule?
Was Indiana on this?
No.
No. I think I've got it now, but I definitely have done that before. Yeah, avoid Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon. That's
it's a lot to avoid in that conference.
Yeah, it is. Nebraska nearly won at Michigan last night. Fred Hoiberg's team is good. Nebraska was missing 2 of its top 6 players on the road at the number 3 team and had the lead throughout. Had an 11-point lead at one point, and then Michigan caught up at the free throw line late and won it by 3. But Nebraska's for real.
It's really impressive too, right? I mean, there have been a number of times where I thought, okay, well that's it. This didn't work out. It wasn't the right place for him. Nobody can win at Nebraska. He needs to get the hell out of there and not ruin his legacy. But I mean, I really did. I mean, I felt that way.
I know.
And kudos to Fred Hoiberg for sticking it out and just kind of believing that he was getting there, right? And then he would eventually get this. But I mean, that's really, really impressive. I mean, that's a tough conference to just kind of, find your way through the dark. I mean, it's probably fortunate that he was at a place like Nebraska where he had a longer leash. But,
right.
I mean, this just does, further prove that he is a legitimately great basketball coach.
And that patience sometimes pays. Right. Back with an update on the arrest of one Chuck E. Cheese and Mr. Movie.
With 5 Central Iowa locations, there's always a Heartland Tire and Auto nearby to take care of everything your car needs. From oil changes to complete transmission overhauls, they do it all. For 15 years now, Heartland Tire and Auto has been a proud sponsor of Murph and Andy.
Sticks. The Hits. May 21st, Lawrence Amphitheater. One night only. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. Sticks. With special guest, Cheap Trick. Part of the Willis Summer Concert Series.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Either Or Eatery and Patio. Head on over there, say hi to owners Whitney and Scott Seelix. Try the steak bites de Burgo and the butternut squash Alfredo while you're
They're
at
a good-looking couple.
They are a good-looking couple. So nice, both very smart. A couple of former attorneys.
Oh, they're
to get
smart
into
to
that
get in the
business.
restaurant business.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that does seem counterintuitive, but they've done very well also on Lua Brewing, of course. Des Moines will demolish Moulton Elementary School. That move approved this week by the Des Moines City Council.
Such a classic-looking schoolhouse.
It is. It used to be North High School back in the day. Converted to an elementary school in the early 60s. It is a really cool building, historically significant. I think a lot of the supporters wanted it to get historic landmark status. But, I mean, classic buildings, they still have to be functional, right? I mean, they have to, you can't just have a giant building sitting there as like a monument. I mean, they're not built to be that. They're going to fall apart. They become a problem. They take an incredible amount of maintenance just to keep them running. And when they get to this part where they're just too far gone and it takes too much to keep them up, you gotta take them down and move on. And a lot of historians that really shoots an arrow through their heart, but it's just the way it is. I mean, you just have to still have a true function to keep going as a building like this, and it's just not functioning like that anymore. You see the inside of this; it's falling apart. There's just a lot of problems that would just take bazillions of dollars to right. So they're going to take this down. Sounds like they're getting right to it, and it's going to be replaced by a new school. Django is finished in 6 weeks. The Orchestrate restaurant is one of the favorites in Des Moines. It's been a huge hit for 16, 18 years. Andrew, this has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
One
a
of our
great
favorite
restaurant.
Many times. Why,
Yeah.
why is it closing, Andy?
Well, the reasons given are that it's just too difficult to maintain in this economic climate. Things have just gotten too expensive. I also just kind of suspect that this is I believe this is the George Famaro group, and he has a lot of different restaurants and, a lot of passion projects that kind of come and go. And I wonder if maybe Django is just kind of not the apple of his eye anymore, right? Not as interesting anymore, and just wants to try something different. I certainly believe that restaurants are really difficult to run. When he says this one's too difficult, I believe that totally. But it's been a successful restaurant. It's one it gets really high ratings and people love. But if you love it, you got 6 weeks, and then it's bye-bye Django. And now a word from the great John Mellencamp.
Hey, I'm trying to get in shape for my tour next summer. I'm playing 2.5 hours, nothing but hits. So I thought I better try to get in shape, you know what I mean?
2.5 hours, nothing but hits. He's on a treadmill, chain smoking.
Burning a heater right there on the treadmill.
Clearly in on the joke.
Inside his house. Boy, I wonder what Mellencamp's house is like. Just an ashtray.
He lives in an ashtray.
Reeks of smoke. The draperies.
Ashtray with just like a tent over it.
Oh, my God. 40 years ago today, I'll set the scene. I'm in class in junior high school, and they wheel the television in. The space shuttle is launching, and there's a teacher on board, Krista McAuliffe. It's a big deal. For the first time, a teacher is going into outer space. So we start watching we'd seen the space shuttle launch a number of times. It was always kind of cool, but this time, the crew a little different.
And
Somebody
really,
gets an
Andy,
opportunity.
people had started to take these launches for granted because they had been so successful, and you kind of forgot about how dangerous it is and that you're sitting on all of this danger and going out into space. And I think this actually got those TVs rolling back into classrooms because of the teacher that was on the space shuttle. I don't think that had been done for for many of the previous launches.
No, they were all, lifetime astronauts and, the best of the best, and certainly didn't have anything to do with her, what ultimately happened. But speaking of what happened, so this is what we saw on the TV.
Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
So the 25th Space Shuttle mission is now on the way after more delays than NASA cares to count. This morning, it looked as though they were not going to be able to get off.
1 minute 15 seconds. Velocity 2,900 feet per second. Altitude 9 nautical miles. Downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
And I remember being in denial for a few minutes because you watch this even in this moment, and you immediately it's clear what happened, that it blew up and that it's catastrophic, but you're trying to rationalize some way that maybe they could have gotten out or escaped the explosion, but of course there is no way.
Right, and there's no great big gasp, scream or anything that anybody lets out. The CNN commentator, I mean, clearly there's a little bit of a delay, but he didn't want to say anything. He doesn't really know what's happened. The voice at NASA doesn't really know. Nobody really says anything. And I think as we're watching, we're thinking like that the one booster rocket that kind of keeps on going, maybe that's the shuttle or something, and maybe they're okay because that's still going. But then when they go to that wide shot and you see that thing is just kind of snaking all over the sky, you realize that something went terribly wrong. And then this is kind of the meat of my memory. They shut off the TV and wheeled it out of the room, and we had a math test.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a huge difference between growing up then and growing up now. I mean, there was no, like, the counselors didn't come running in and, start talking to us. I mean, everybody was just like, oh, well, I guess that didn't work out. We got to move on. And I don't remember being emotionally scarred by this or anything at all. But it was just so difficult to kind of fathom. And then there was another shuttle accident, right? I mean, where I think Discovery blew up also and had problems. So they ended up scrapping the entire space shuttle program altogether, which was really interesting because I was too little to, I was not alive during the moon launchings and stuff like that. But I didn't really want to understand what was unique about the space shuttles, but it was truly unique. I mean, it would go out into space and it would fly back to Earth and land, right? It wouldn't just drop into the ocean and then it'd have to be rescued by Navy boats and stuff, right?
I think that's part of what made so many of us take it for granted, because it landed like an airplane, so it started to feel to people like it was an airplane launching, and of course it's not. And this will forever be remembered too as a company. You can't bow to public pressures. You can't go when you're not ready to go, especially something that's this risky, that somehow we managed to not have more accidents than we did. But you can hear in the voice that the narrator, whoever that is that's talking at the time, he said, and finally they're going after what must feel like to NASA countless delays. So they knew there were problems. They knew there were heat tile questions and problems, and they went anyway, and you can't do that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 40 years ago today that happened. In Nigeria, bank customer Ojo Kingsley was mistakenly credited $1.1 million into his personal bank account.
He looks like Shaq.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah,
I know some people who've had that happen. Not that much money, but all of a sudden there's money in your account that you didn't put in there.
Supposed to get 100, you get 1,000 instead, or 10,000.
Yeah, you got to give that
Not
stuff.
a million.
Got to give that stuff back, or you're in trouble if you get caught. Authorities demanded the money to be returned, and he refused to return.
I didn't know you could refuse.
Well, they gave him basically a choice. Give the money back or you're in big trouble with the law. He said, all right, bring on the big trouble with the law. He got sentenced to 1 year in prison, a $3,500 fine as an alternative. He was given that as an alternative. He chose jail.
For $1.1 million in American dollars. AD, you go to jail for 1 year for $1.1 million?
Not right now, but there are times in my life where I would have.
Okay.
Yeah, you got good for you for thinking of your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to go.
This in a year with
AD.
my kids would be rough right now. But hey, ask me in 5 years when they're teenagers. And
what
I'll
about
just,
10 million?
I'll just sit in a cell. 10 million?
About 10 million.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Now we're talking.
Seriously. I would have to think about that. And now this week's reminder that emotionally I'm still really only about 15 years old.
Reminds me of Friday's Murph and Andy show. Enough, AD. We got it.
Man's trying to pee off the building onto the city below. Farts during the pee. The pee stops, picks up again. You wanted me to describe the video.
Yeah.
Those people that aren't watching screen.
Yeah, it's great.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, an update to the story that we broke here on More last summer. The Florida man arrested in full Chuck E. Cheese costume last July has pleaded no contest to felony charges. 42-year-old Jermel Jones admitted to stealing a customer's debit card at the Tallahassee Chuck E. Cheese and using it at Circle K, grocery stores, Whataburger, and smoke shops. You may remember the viral pictures of his arrest showing officers handcuffing him in the mouse suit. His children looked on.
With the mouse head just on top of the police car.
There's a lot to unpack in this photo here. I mean,
the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes. The police. I want to believe that the police there are good people, and they tried to load him into the car with the mouse head on so that kids wouldn't see that it wasn't a real mouse.
Is that better than actually having the mouse put into the car head intact? I don't know. What, Mom? Why are they arresting Chuck?
I think that is better. I mean, now, if you go back to that one picture, Andrew, I mean, this poor kid, he not only sees that Chuck E. Cheese is being led away and handcuffs and booked, but that Chuck E. Cheese is not real because they took his mouse head off and it's just this dude standing there in his shoes, the big red shoes. This kid is horrified. This kid was going to Chuck E. Cheese with her grandpa. It was going to be the best day. She's been looking forward to this for months.
Chucky's
Grandpa's
the hero.
been looking forward to it. Going
Drinking
into Chuck E.
beer.
Cheese. And what does she end up seeing? At Chuck E. Cheese, the perp. Getting walked out, cuffed.
No contest.
Stripped of his head. Sentenced to 3 years probation. He faced up to 10 years in prison. 2 felonies, but he did avoid jail time, thank God. He was sentenced to 3 years probation, ordered to pay $1,600 in fines.
Has to pay the entire fine in tokens.
Yeah. Pizza and pitchers of Coke. Banned from contacting the victim or the Chuck E. Cheese where he worked. He's banned. No more pizza
Banned.
for you.
No skee ball.
That's your more, everybody.
Nicely done, Andy. Confluence, official beer of Murph and Andy. I don't think available at Chuck E. Cheese. Confluence is where good things come together. You will find a beer that fits your palate at Confluence. Count on that. And they have more than beer there, too. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mike Woody, better known across the country as Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody, presented by P&P Small Engines.
There he is. Almost. I see one eye.
There you
There's
go.
both eyes.
Step into the camera. There you go.
Oh, hi, Mr. Movie. Oh, we're not hearing him.
Oh, no.
All right, can't hear you.
Don't
Can't
go to the
hear Mr.
bathroom.
Movie. Still can't hear him. You're on mute.
Yeah. Monkey with that.
All right, P&P Small Engines has a Thinking Ahead special right now. Andy, you might be able to describe this better than me. That you take your lawnmower or your things that need their blade sharpened.
Can be a chainsaw. It can be all kinds of stuff. Really any kind of servicing that you need done right now. Maybe you usually wait until spring to do. They're ready to do it right now. Not a lot of snow out there, so they've got stuff to do. You can just give them a call. They will go ahead and do the spring cleaning, oil change, sharpening service, all that kind of stuff, and get you ready to go so you don't have to wait. In line with everybody else once we're actually thinking about getting outside and doing lawn work. You can do it right now, P&P Engine. Small engine.
Somebody had a funny comment
And some
back
of the engines there
earlier.
are kind of big too. I should point that out.
Murph's phrasing made it sound like Mr. Movie got arrested with Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, I said coming on an update on the arrest of Chuck E. Cheese and Mr. Movie. That does make it sound. Yeah, that comma is crucial there. Hello, Mr. Movie.
Nope.
No,
All right.
still not there.
Let's.
All right.
Murph
go to
and
the
I,
out
you
of the
and I
box
can
topic
kind of
here.
talk here. Yeah.
We'll
Out
do
of
it.
the box
Okay,
topic.
so our today's topic, Andy, favorite use of quiet in a movie, and this can be taken to extremes where most of the movie utilizes quiet, or just a choice by the director to not have you hear the dialogue, which is what I've gone with here, and it's because I watched this recently. It's The Verdict with Paul Newman, and Paul Newman, down and out lawyer, ambulance chaser. Something happened in his career, and he's kind of given up on life. Basically, he's just trying to make enough money to keep drinking at the tavern by his seedy apartment, and he finds this case, and he takes this case on that Jack Warden has given him to try to get him back on his feet. And he kind of falls in love with a woman, Charlotte Rampling, who also gets him to find his spirit again and want to fight. And there's a scene where Jack Warden, his good friend, his mentor, finds a check in her purse. She's been a setup the entire time. She's a mole. She's a plant to get information for the Catholic Church's defense in the case. And the director, Sidney Lumet, makes the choice in the crucial scene to have Jack Warden come up and tell him, but you don't hear the dialogue, and it's shot from a distance. And Paul Newman, this is his best performance of all time.
I agree.
And Paul Newman just stumbles, like he can't believe what he's hearing, and he just stumbles down the street, and then he goes to look for her. The quiet ends at this point, but he punches her in a bar, like or slaps her across the face, and a bunch of people run up and she tells them, no, leave him alone. I had it coming. And it's a fantastic scene. And the whole movie, The Verdict, is just great. It's a great movie.
It is, and I think it gets overlooked in his giant catalog of great movies. My dad was a lawyer, and he loved this movie. He always thought this was the best movie about lawyers. And it's funny, the power that silence can have, right? No sound at all can sometimes be the loudest thing in a movie. And it's not something that, can be overused. You have to just drop it in a few, special cases. But when it happens and they do it right, it really makes you lean in and pay attention more.
It's the opposite of the Netflix approach that Matt Damon was just talking about, where when you make a movie for Netflix, as they've just done The Rip, Netflix wants you to summarize the plot that's going on 3 or 4 times because people are half paying attention because they're also looking at their phones, which we all want to throw our hands up, and we've all done it. But that's why I love being in a movie theater and watching something like The Verdict. Is in that scene, you don't hear what's actually said to him, but you know what it is and what it's about. And it's just a great choice in that moment. So what do you have for silence?
Well, I'll point out that it is only a coincidence that we are talking about silence in a day where Mr. Movie is in silence. But we didn't.
Method acting.
It is, yeah.
He takes this very
it's
seriously.
Added to the whole effect, I think. There are a lot of good choices for this, really. I love this. This is one of my favorite endings in movie history. I love this ending. I think it wraps this story up perfectly. It is Whiplash and Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons, after having just this tour de force battle between the two, the whole movie, this drumming prodigy at what's supposed to be Juilliard School of Music, and the horrible asshole band director, whatever he is, J.K. Simmons. Miles Teller, after being set up to fail in front of this big audience by J.K. Simmons, leaves the stage, then turns around, marches right back out there, sits down at the drum kit, and launches into this incredible tune Caravan, and just takes over the stage, makes the band get behind him. And then J.K. Simmons, in front of this live audience at this Civic Center, whatever it is, really has no choice but to just go along with it. But Miles Teller is incredible leading this song from his drum kit, and J.K. Simmons has to kind of like fall in line behind him. And there are actually two different parts of this song where the director drops it to total silence. And the effect is, I mean, it's crazy. It's ironic because it's silence in the middle of this huge musical number.
But it makes you lean in.
It makes you lean in. And the second instance where it falls to silence, you see J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller lock eyes. J.K. Simmons finally gives his approval, and Miles Teller smiles in acknowledgement. And they exchange that, and then the sound comes right back on, and they launch into the final bars of the song. It's really powerful and really well done.
AD?
Well, should we see if we got Mike back here?
Let's try it.
Do we have Mike here?
Yeah.
We do. You don't look as good. You had a good-looking shot. Now I think you're on your phone, but your homage to quiet on the podcast today is appreciated, but we want to go ahead and hear you talk.
Funny guys. My out-of-the-box topic is A Quiet Place. Perfect name. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been. Husband and wife duo, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, they deliver a movie that is all but silent. And it's a horror movie, and it is intense. It's one of those things. I remember being at the Copper Creek Theater, and we were afraid to eat our popcorn because it was so loud, and people would turn around and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Eating my popcorn."
Yeah, got quiet.
Yeah, that's a good anecdote from that movie, and there are parts of the movie that are more quiet than others.
Right.
And
oh my gosh, it's so well done.
Cranks up the intensity when she's in the bathtub.
Giving
birth to the baby.
Yeah.
It has to be quiet because the monster's right around the corner.
Oh, it's just
movies don't get more intense than that.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It is the sequels. They're good. They're good, but just doesn't hit where this one does. Also, remember when she's coming down the stairs and she steps on the nail?
Right.
And you see the pain come through her, but she makes a sound and they're all going to die. Or even when they lose one of the children, which shapes the rest of the movie because of a noise. I think, is it a toy on a shelf or something?
Yeah, it's like a train or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good choice. AD, what do you have for a good use of silence?
Yeah, Coda won Best Picture a few years ago. It's Children of Deaf Adults, and it's about a girl whose parents and brother are deaf, and she's not, and she's actually a singer. And there's a scene about halfway through the movie where she's at like a talent show, and she's singing, and it starts with just her singing and the music and everything, and then the perspective kind of shifts to her father, and the everything fades out, all the sound fades out, and for the rest of the performance, it's just silence, and he's looking around, and everybody else in the audience is kind of bopping along and enjoying the performance, and his daughter's up there singing, and it was just this really like powerful illustration of how difficult it would be to connect with somebody when you're living in that different of an experience than they are. And then it kind of comes full circle at the end. She's got this big audition, and while she sings, she does sign language, and her family's there and can kind of better understand what's happening. But that's a great movie, and that's a powerful scene using silence.
It is a great movie.
Yeah, I loved Coda too. I forgot that one Best Picture. Actor. Yeah, I think the actor might have.
He won Best Supporting Actor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. You haven't seen Coda. Check it out. Let's get to some reviews here with Mr. Movie. Let's start with The Rip. We mentioned this. This is Damon and Affleck doing a Netflix project, a movie you would expect to be in theaters, but it's straight to Netflix, and it's, I guess, a heist movie, a trust movie. What'd you think?
Well, they play two guys, buddies, obviously, in a group of Miami cops, and the cops are dirty, everybody's dirty, and they can't figure out where this stash of cash has gone. Their captain is assassinated. She's killed while trying to figure this out, and they suspect it's one of their own that's behind this thing. And it's like just a guessing game as to which one it is, but it is very well made. It's very well acted. The story's a little too convoluted, but anytime Ben Affleck and Matt Damon work together, it says Dylan here. Who typed that?
You.
Oh, okay. But anytime those two guys work together, you got to see the movie.
Do they have good banter in this? I mean, I always think of Netflix as like just a touch above mediocre. Most of the movies, not all of them, but is it better than that?
It's better than that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a solid B.
So if you have Netflix, a must see or a maybe see?
I would say must see.
Okay. What about The Perfect Neighbor?
This is an Oscar-nominated movie Sue found last night on Netflix. It's a movie about an old woman who is harassing the kids in her neighborhood, and they're fighting back and forth, and they call the cops back and forth on each other. And it's a truly scary story because it's true. The entire movie is made up of video clips from their cameras, their body cameras.
I've seen it. It's astonishing they were able to edit this whole thing together with just actual footage.
Yeah, and the ending is just crazy how good it is. But I think it's a solid A- in my book. How did you feel about it?
I thought it was really good. It's a hard watch at times because it's a gut punch, and I do think the filmmakers do a fair job of showing it from all vantage points, which is what you want. It doesn't seem like there's an agenda here to make you feel one way or the other. Let's just lay it all out how it happened.
And I think the cops did a good job of that too. I mean,
they're trying.
They're in a bad spot here.
It is. I've seen this. It's really well done. You're right. It's very, very, very watchable. It's a tough subject, but it's one that you don't stop watching once you've started. Right. There's a commentary about America there, but it's one that you can draw your own conclusions to. But it's really, really well done, and it's just this woman has some major issues, and it's horribly unfortunate.
It is, and as you see it unfold, like at first, my first thought, because so many things come with a narrative now, and I think, the cops are going to be made out to be the bad guys here, but that's not the case.
No, not the case at all.
They're trying, and they're just exhausted by this woman who keeps calling over and over again, and she's just kind of an awful person.
Just
and
keeps getting angry
hits.
at the kids in the neighborhood. She just sobs. She just cannot. She's just beside herself.
So Send Help is the third movie that Mike is reviewing this week.
Okay, Send Help is directed by Sam Raimi. It stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. And if you don't know who Dylan O'Brien is, you will recognize him. But it's a movie about, first off, they do a great job of making Rachel McAdams look absolutely horrible. She's this nerdy assistant at an office, and she's been promised a seat at the big table in the conference room. And the guy that owns the company passes away. His son comes in, and he basically treats her like dirt. She whittles her way onto a plane with the rest of the corporate staff, Storm comes, plane crashes. The only two people alive are her and the son. And he's badly, badly hurt. She has survival skills, so she basically nurses him back to health. And then crazy stuff happens. I'm not going to tell you what.
I saw a review for this. Yeah, this looks interesting to me. Yeah, just role reversal. The horrible boss that you dream of getting even with. All of a sudden, you have to help him.
Yeah.
So what's the grade there? Mr. Movie?
It's a C plus. It didn't really. I mean, you've got a lot of talent on the screen, and they didn't really get to where they should have gotten. It's got that Romancing the Stone feel to it, where it's a little more dangerous than you think it's going to be. So they did a good job. They didn't do a great job. It's a C plus.
C plus for that. Okay, coming soon. We got a couple coming out. H is for Hawk and Solo Mio.
Solo Mio with Kevin James plays a guy who goes to Rome. He's going to get married. His wife leaves, or his fiance leaves him at the altar, and he's already paid for the honeymoon. So he meets another lady there, and I think they go on the honeymoon together. I haven't seen it yet, but that's what it looks like. It looks like a lot of fun.
All right, and also H is for Hawk.
H is for Hawk. This woman, and I don't know if it's a true story or not. I can't figure that out. Sue read the book, and it's a story about this woman who's got a father who's I think he's a great author, and the family's got some mental illness, and it's a very interesting movie. You're not walking out in a happy mood, but it's very well done and fantastic acting all around.
All right, well, Mr. Movie, put yourself back on mute, and thank you for joining us.
I'm going to go throw the computer out the window.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Good to see you, Mr. Movie.
See you guys.
It is now time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Let's throw it down. Powered by Heartland Tire and Auto, a authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Murph, Derrick Rose became the 5th Chicago Bull to have his jersey retired. He was Rookie of the Year and League MVP with the Bulls, but only played 8 seasons, never led them past the conference championships. Is Derrick Rose worthy of a jersey retirement?
It's more of a question for hardcore Bulls fans. I don't think of him as a guy whose jersey would be hanging from the rafters, but I also know that in those lean years after Michael Jordan left, like he was the reason to watch the Bulls, or the reason they showed up. And he did win an MVP, and you kind of laid it out there. I think the fans are probably okay with this. I don't think of him as a rafters guy, but I don't have any problem with it.
I don't either. I guess to me it seems like they're just desperate to retire another jersey post Michael Jordan era teams, and they wanted to do this ceremony again. But yeah, this is up to Bulls fans entirely.
All right, Andy, we watched Alex Honnold climb a 1,700-foot building over the weekend. What's the tallest thing you ever climbed?
Tallest thing, I used to really climb a lot of trees when I was a kid.
I was thinking the same thing.
I did really like to do that. I've gone. Haven't I climbed a few, like some sort of mountains? I don't know. Being from Iowa and Missouri, and it's probably a like that I had to climb. It's probably some kind of tree that was a really bad idea, and my parents didn't know I was doing. My house, maybe climb to the top of my house right now is pretty high up there right now too.
That's where it gets tough for me, because when we were in Switzerland, we went way up to this top of this tall mountain, but I didn't climb up there. I took trains and gondolas and several other things. I've climbed Mount Dora, but that's only 254 feet.
That's
boy.
Yeah,
I know
that's like a little pimple.
I know, it's not that high. I've climbed that big hill in Tempe recently.
You guys ever done like climbing walls, like
I have,
yeah, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that's fun, but nothing more than 50 feet. I don't think. I'm going to do more climbing.
Some
soon.
ladders, yeah, about all these days. Although I do have a lot of trepidation.
I
about that
rappelled
these days.
down the financial building downtown.
Oh yeah, I remember
but I
Janae
didn't
did
have to
that.
climb up it. I rode an elevator up it and then went down the side.
We've all climbed some kites.
Yeah, Sci-Fan points out that AD, you have climbed some kites.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is where you can tell us what's bugging you each week. Just leave a message. It can be on anything. And then on Friday, we'll play some of those. It's all powered by Cellular Advantage with 35 regional locations. Proud partner of U.S. Cellular and T-Mobile. Time now for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day, and we call it the AD Squared.
Yeah, and quick before we get there, just want to let everybody know, 7 o'clock tonight is the deadline to buy your meet and greet package with Brad Banks at the Iowa Wild game this Friday, and 2 guys will give away our tickets and our meet and greet package tomorrow morning on their show. So get on to iowaeverywhere.com and enter to win that contest if you want to go hang out with the Hawkeye legend. Game day.
You know what? He's a good guy to hang out with too because he's fully engaged.
Yes.
And anytime I've been around, he enjoys fans. He enjoys talking, laughing, photos, that kind of thing. He's not like a guy there against his will.
He'll answer your questions. He'll talk to you about it.
He's enjoyable. He's an enjoyable guy.
Game Day Men's Health brings us the audio drop of the day. Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty, wherever you are, there's a game day near you. They can help you out. The player intros on NFL games where they come on and say what school they went to, what position they play. Those are always fun. But the transfer portal is going to make those a little more interesting, as Sound Off showed us on Sunday night.
Hank Thresher, running back. Iowa, Iowa State, Northern Iowa, Drake. One spring at Kirkwood, fall at Iowa Western, winter at Coe, and a medically redshirted weekend at Simpson.
Bubba Hankerson III, free safety, West Virginia, East Virginia, Marshall, Appalachian State, Tennessee, Arkansas, Nebraska, Iowa State, Upper Iowa, Grandview, DMAC, and a GED finished on the dart bus.
Cole Vanderboom, linebacker. Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Morningside, Dordt, Drake, Buena Vista, Central, Wartburg, Hogwarts, Luther, and a semester abroad at the University of Phoenix Provisional Enrollment pending paperwork.
Braden Connor O'Donnell McCoy, tight end, Notre Dame College, Dowling Catholic, Northwestern College, Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Mid-America Nazarene, Mid-American Energy, Simpson, a summer internship with the Green Bay Packers, and a study abroad year at the University of Bath. House of tight ends.
Jackson Fair Dinkum, punter. Michigan, Michigan State, Central Michigan, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Iowa, Iowa State, Iowa Central, Iowa Western, Pro Kick Australia, Grandview, Snow College Independent Study of Eligibility, Arizona State School of Portal Studies, NIL sponsored certificate from LinkedIn Learning, and a 1-year partnership with Cash App University. Obvious homage there to the great Key and Peele sketch on name pronunciation.
Doug Gottlieb thought that was an SNL skit.
Yeah, it's the same thing without the budget or the staff. But yeah,
some of those guys look a little past their prime.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, this is what happened. This is where college football
Been in college
is
a
now.
long time.
I mean, we got guys who've been playing for decades in their 7th and 8th school. One of the fun things that's happened about this is, like, I heard from somebody at Valdosta State that was disappointed that I didn't shout out my alma mater.
Yeah.
William Penn had a couple of people like, no William Penn.
Yeah.
Where's Dubuque? I heard some of that.
Listed almost every other college in Iowa.
I tried to do some shout outs there, but yeah. And I've had so many suggestions. If I was rewriting it now, like somebody's like, "What? How about Mitchellville Prison?" Or like that would be funny. You go back and after it lands, you're thinking, yeah, I could have done a better job with that. Quickie poll results from WCI Pools and Spas.
Which do you think was the biggest factor in Bill Belichick no votes for Hall of Fame induction? Spygate/Deflategate says 44% of the vote. 38% think it's he was a jerk to reporters. 10% still coaching at UNC, and 8% say it's because of his young girlfriend.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out here with us on a Wednesday. Please like and subscribe so we can all meet again. We'll schedule it for Friday. Reminder, the big Iowa Everywhere party at the Irish coming up. That is February 27th. Get that on the calendar if you would. We'd love to see you there. But for now, we're back Friday, and we hope you are too.